Bonjour de nouveau. Let's look at the conjugation of a regular verb ending in ER. This is also called the first conjugation. We have seen the conjugation of the irregular verbs être, avoir, and aller. Fortunately, not all verbs are irregular in French. Many verbs that end in ER, in fact, I would say all verbs that end in ER are regular except for aller, which we have seen, which means to go, and envoyer, which means to send. We will not be using envoyer too much this semester. But let's look at parler. Parler is the infinitive. To conjugate this verb, we would remove ER. This leaves us with parle, P-A-R-L, which is known as the stem. To the stem, we add the following endings. I for je, es for tu, I for il, I for elle, ONS for parlons, for nous, EZ for vous, ENT for il plural, and ENT for elle plural. Please remember that the ENT for il plural and elle plural is not pronounced. So, once the verb has been conjugated, the forms are pronounced as follows. Veuillez répéter, parler. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. Once again, parler. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. Now, we can also form the past participle. The past participle involves removing ER and adding E with an acute accent. Remember, I said in class last week, E with the acute accent, as you see at the bottom of the page, is pronounced A. So that would be parler. And it is the equivalent of a past participle, which in English would be translated as spoken. Now, we have other verbs in the first conjugation. D'autres verbes de la première conjugaison. Veuillez répéter, écouter, écouter, danser, étudier, téléphoner à, marcher, jouer, répéter. Now, test question. There are only two irregular verbs in the first conjugation. What are they? Remember, I said there was aller, and then there is envoyer. ENVOYER. E-R, or en français, E-N-V-O-Y-E-R. Now, what I would like to do here is show you that with the minimum amount of French that we have learned already, we can speak in the present tense, the past tense, and the near future tense. So if you look at the three sentences, je parle français tous les jours. Répétez. Je parle français tous les jours. I speak French every day. That would obviously be present tense. To make the present tense, you follow the rules that I just explained. Let's look at the second sentence. Hier, j'ai parlé français avec mon professeur. Please note that to form the past tense, because hier means yesterday, this is past tense, so we use avoir, the conjugation of which we've already seen, and we attach to that the past participle. That is the form of the verb that ends with the E and the acute accent. Literally, I have spoken. So we say, répétez, hier, j'ai parlé français avec mon professeur. Yesterday, I spoke French with my professor. For the third sentence, demain. Demain means tomorrow, so this would be the near future tense. Demain, je vais parler français avec Dominique. Tomorrow, I am going to speak French with Dominique. So we have the three tenses represented. The first one is the present tense, conjugated as I stated it before. The second one, with hier, yesterday, we have the past tense, avoir plus the past participle. And demain, tomorrow, we have the near future tense. We use aller plus the infinitive, that is the base form of the verb. Now, your homework will be to use the three sentences above as models, and you will create three sentences of your own for each subject given below. For example, if you were to choose, well, number one is nous. Let's say you choose the verb danser. You would say, nous dansons tous les jours. Hier, nous avons dansé avec Jacques. And then for the near future, you would say, demain, je vais danser. For example, you would say, nous allons, you would say, demain, nous allons danser avec Dominique. The important thing to remember is to follow the operations. This may seem a bit tedious in the beginning, but it will give you an excellent understanding of French sentence structure and the French tense structure, which will serve you well throughout the rest of your French-speaking career. It will also provide a mental gymnastic for you to make your mind more flexible and receptive to learning French. So please take your time and do this exercise. I will put an answer key on Blackboard later because I will not be able to be in class on Friday as well. So there will be an explanation of this exercise and then a short quiz on avoir, aller, and être, which I will put on Blackboard. Also, if you have the time, I would suggest that you see my other video, uh, which is deals with conjugation, and that will give you an in-depth understanding of the principles of conjugation. So this concludes this part of the presentation. Bonne chance et bon travail. À bientôt. Au revoir.